Welcome to Health Careers Week. We are excited to be here and are having a great conversations this week about careers, and excited to move those out to all the students. So I am Kate Lee. I am the Executive Director of Education and Workforce at the South Bend Regional Chamber. Allison Herzig is hiding behind the South Bend Regional Chamber logo, doing all the voodoo on the back end and managing the chat. And we'll also be dropping links in for the different points that we talk about during this conversation. So quick housekeeping. Thanks for being a part of this Health Careers Week 2022. All attendees are muted, but we still want to hear from you. So you can use the chat function to ask any questions as we go along or to share any comments. The session is scheduled for 30 minutes. And as a reminder, these are being recorded for year-round career exploration. So if you want to go back and revisit these chats, or you want to share it with your parents or a friend who may have missed it, but you think would be really interested in this kind of career conversation, please do that. We also want to thank and recognize the support of our sponsors. One of those is Oaklawn, a presenting partner for Health Careers Week. Please visit the Health Careers Week landing page to learn more about the businesses and careers in healthcare in our region. Today, we're excited to welcome Shelley Poindexter, who is the team leader, child and adolescent skills training at Oaklawn. Shelley has a master's of social work and is a licensed clinical social worker. So thank you so much for being here, Shelley. Are you mute? I can't hear you.
Nope, I'm right here.
Oh, there we go. You got to be really loud, maybe. I don't know. Don't yell at me. So we're going to start with the big question that it's no secret, right? There's a lot of need for great employees in healthcare, all kinds of healthcare, physical, mental, all the different, and there's a wide variety of jobs available out there, and there's a great need. So mental health is getting more and more attention. Obviously, as we come out of COVID, there have been a lot of challenges, and just challenges in general in our world, I think. So what does it look like in our region as far as careers in mental health?
That is a wonderful question. And you are absolutely right. The need for mental health professionals in a variety of settings seems to just be growing and growing. Since COVID, we've just had a real influx of need. We have more and more young people and adults and older adults coming in for care. We're seeing a tremendous amount of anxiety and depression and a lot of residual effects for those people that weren't able to get out during COVID, and now they're finally able to kind of step back into the world. And so at Oaklawn, we are a really large organization. We have 900 plus employees, and just to kind of give you a little statistics, at the moment we have right around 100 positions open.
Wow.
And that's a broad a broad array of all kinds of jobs, but yeah, so you think 900, an organization of 900 with 100 openings, and you think about other healthcare organizations that are even larger and smaller. That just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at right now.
So if you had to pick maybe two jobs that you see like the really high demand for, and an ongoing need and growth in that kind of career choice, do you have a couple that you'd highlight?
Well, as I was kind of looking through our list of job openings, and I was trying to determine, where are the needs? I would definitely say that the direct care work for the people that we want to be seeing, that's where the need is. So I'm talking about our clinical therapists, those people that have their master's degrees in social work or in a related health services field. And then I would also say the other need is for those that have, maybe are just graduating from college with a bachelor's, again, in a social work degree, or maybe psychology or another health related field. Those are the areas where the real need is, because those are the people that are doing the direct work with the clients that we see.
So you mentioned there's different educational requirements. So are there certain jobs that you could come into maybe like right out of high school with, and what kind of certifications would you need to go right there without really starting a formal post-secondary program? And then are there opportunities to grow after you do that?
There definitely are. So we do have several positions within the organization that require either a high school diploma or a GED. And those positions are within our residential facility, and that's based in Mishawaka. And so the job title for those positions are mental health technicians. And those are folks that are working in direct care with young people that are in a residential facility. It could be that they're there because they're just really struggling to live at home or in the community, and they just need that extra care and that extra support. And so we have a number of openings and a number of people working with those individuals. And that, again, that's a high school diploma or GED. And then we have some other positions, and those are, I'll kind of, and as an umbrella term, case managers or folks that are out there doing home-based work or community-based work. And they typically will come in with a bachelor's degree, but again, a 2 years of maybe post high school. Maybe you've got an associate's degree with some lived experience, and those folks would be moving into a position where you're helping families, with whatever needs they're presenting with. So those are a couple of the positions, and then our therapists or counselors. Those are the folks that have gotten their bachelor's degree and are moving or have already gotten their master's degree. And that isn't necessarily always a social work degree. That can be a degree in psychology, and you've gone on and you've wanted to do family and marital counseling. It can be, I know IUSB has a counseling program, but in order to become a therapist, to work and use a lot of evidence-based practices, it does require a master's degree. So that's at least, probably 6 years of schooling.
Oh, yeah, it's good. And you don't have to like muscle through that, I guess, all at once. Sometimes people accumulate that education as they go forward. And you had mentioned, Oakland, that the on-site center is in, I guess it's technically in South Bend, right? It's right there on the South Bend Mishawaka line. So where else in the region does Oakland serve patients?
So we're in St. Joe County and Elkhart County, and we actually have 4 campuses. So we have our South Bend location that's right downtown South Bend area, and that is primarily outpatient services. And then we have our Mishawaka campus, and that's our residential facility for youth. And then we have an Elkhart campus, and that's where I'm located. And we do outpatient services as well. And then we also have a Goshen campus, and that was our original campus. And we are also doing a lot of outpatient services there. We also still have a very small inpatient unit, and that's for adults who need some stabilization. And we are the 2 primary needs that we serve are mental health and addiction services. And that's, in terms of the population of people that we serve anywhere between the age of 3 all the way up into your geriatric population. So it's a wide range.
Yeah. So there's kind of a place for everyone who kind of wants to be a helper, that if there's a certain age group, kind of like teachers, if there's a certain age group that you're attracted to or feel that you most connect with, there's opportunities within Oaklawn for those different age groups and different specialty areas.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a heart for working with children, we have lots of children's programs. If you enjoy or, think I really want to work with, young adults, there's programs for that. We have lots of adult programs, and then we have a whole comprehensive addictions program. And we do individual work, we do home-based work. We also have a number of groups that people are running and doing. So I couldn't possibly know every single group or name of them because we have so many at all of the locations.
That's why you have a website.
Exactly. And yes.
There you go. There's a list out there somewhere for everything, right? And I do know that at Oaklawn, you do internal training for your employees, right? There's ongoing training opportunities. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I love working at Oaklawn is because the training never stops. So when you are first hired on, all employees go through a 2-week orientation, and you are running here, running there. You're on webinars, you're doing virtual training, you're doing live training. But the idea behind that is to just really get you acclimated to the organization and give you the tools to use. So after your 2-week orientation, whatever team that you're going to be working on, then you're scooped up by your team members. You typically have a mentor that's assigned to you, and your supervisor works really closely with you. And we do that for as long as you need. Typically I would say like 3 months. I know that probably might sound like a long time, but it really goes by quickly because there is so much to learn because we are a large organization. But that's our training model. And then beyond that, we have a number of professional trainings that we offer. I feel like anytime I need to learn something new, there's a professional training opportunity to jump on. So that's why I've appreciated working here, because there's just a plethora of opportunities. And I would say we have just some really, really great skilled folks that have been in this work for a long time, and they're always willing to help and advise.
And we are really lucky in our area to be surrounded by lots of strong post-secondary options. So you can go on and do training maybe on the outside as well to take that next step. Tuition reimbursement and opportunity. Is that an opportunity at Oaklawn?
There is. For those that are interested in going on and getting a master's degree, we do offer grants and programs that are available so that it can help you to help with that tuition.
Yeah, I find a lot of that I've worked in healthcare, and I think healthcare is one industry in particular that's really strong in that ongoing education, because things just keep changing so fast and you learn new things and new approaches, and it's really important to stay on top of all that. So it's great that Oaklawn does that. So I'm going to pivot a little bit here, and I'm going to have you tell us about your career pathway. So what did 5-year-old Shelley want to be when she grew up? I can't even talk. Maybe I was talking to my 5-year-old self when she grew up. And how did you get to where you are now?
I was thinking about that question. So I don't know what 5-year-old Shelley wanted to do. Well, 5-year-old Shelley, I think, wanted to be a lawyer. And then my dad told me I should be an insurance salesman because I was good at talking to people. I was good at, kind of schmoozing people, and I liked talking to adults. But ultimately, my family went through some things as I was growing up, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do, especially kind of, being a high schooler. I thought, yeah, I should probably go to college, but I'm not really sure. I don't know what path I want to be on. But ultimately, I know this sounds kind of silly. Ultimately, I knew I liked people. I liked being around people. And in some way, I wanted to be able to help people. I didn't know what that looked like though. And I didn't know that there was this thing called a bachelor's in social work either. And so it took me a little while. I chose probably 4 different career paths before I found this, social work program at Ball State University.
Sure.
And then, that was it. I was like, okay, I think I figured it out. So yeah. And then, once I got that degree, I did an internship here locally, working with developmental disabilities. And then I got to work with a preschool program. And I got a call from Oakland one day because I had done a little bit of networking, and they said, "You want to come in for an interview?" And I said, "Sure." And so I landed at Oakland several years ago, but it was great experience because I didn't start my master's degree. I took 5 years to get a lot of good experience. So I was that case manager. I was that home-based provider. So I really kind of got to dig my heels into that entry-level work. And then I decided that, you know what, I want to continue to grow and do more professionally. And so then I got my master's degree, and I got to do therapy, and I got to do assessments, and, just kind of found my niche that, it was a journey, and it's still a journey.
Do you feel like having that 5 years of solid work experience helped your master's program go smoother, easier, like to have that relevant real life experience?
For me, I think it was definitely essential to really feeling like I understood the profession. I by that time knew that my first love was working with youth and families. It kind of gave me that time to explore different avenues, different populations. And so when I did go into my master's program, it felt a little bit easier, and walking out, knowing, knowing, 5 years postgraduate, what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah, that's great. So what was your first job?
My first job, I bussed tables. I don't, probably a number of people are familiar. In Middlebury, there's this big restaurant called the Essen House. Lots
great pie.
Yeah, lots and lots of people are familiar. And I, got my first job, and the high school was right there, and I'd walk down there and put my uniform on and start bussing tables. So that was my first job.
So what did you learn in your first job that you still use today?
Well, I was, to be timely, to do a very thorough job with my job duties. I also learned to train other new people once I was trained, and that I didn't want to bus tables.
I say sometimes jobs are designed to tell you what you don't want to do as well. So
yeah. But yeah, definitely, definitely those core skills, just, yeah, because I wanted to get paid. So I knew that I needed to do a good job in order to get a paycheck.
I think retail and hospitality work is all about learning patience and dealing with people who are not being very pleasant without like completely like losing your mind or running screaming from the building. So I think that there's so much value in those kind of jobs.
Well, and I will tell you, we've had a number of people who have done those types of jobs do fantastic in the social work field because they had those experiences. Yeah.
I can completely see that. So looking at my questions over here. So I'm just gonna, I think we do have time for this. So I'm kind of excited. So Shelley has an activity that only a couple minute activity for you students and educators who are listening in and possibly me, but a good opportunity for students who have listened to this session or others to kind of gather your thoughts and think about next steps. So I am gonna have Shelley lead you through this exercise. And then if you have any questions during that time, pop those into the chat and we'll have time to get back to those.
Okay.
Go, Shelley.
Right. Thank you. All right. So this is pretty simple, and it does require you to have a piece of paper. I know you're all on your laptops and iPads, so you may not have paper, but if you do, follow along. If you don't, just you can look at it and do it later. So any kind of paper is fine. I want you to fold it in half. And this is an activity that I've often done when I was a therapist, just to get people thinking about, what is it that I want for myself? Social work is often about helping people think about what is something that they want to change, what is something that they are missing from their life that they want to do differently. And so it really is kind of a goals activity. So fold it in half, and then you're going to fold your paper in half one more time. So when you pull it apart, you're going to have 4 squares. I don't know if you can see that. My lighting is really bad. Okay. All right. So it doesn't matter to me where you put the notes. In one square, you're going to say, you're just going to put today. You're just going to write down today. And then in another square, you're going to write this week. And then in a third square somewhere, you're going to put this month. And then in the last square, you're going to put this year. So your paper should look like this. So you're going to have today, this week, this month, and this year. Okay? So what I want you to do, if you have a moment, and you don't have to fill in all the boxes, but I want you to be thinking about, what is it that I want? What's my goal today? If we just look at the today box, what's my goal today? Or what is something I want to accomplish today? And it can be anything. It can be that maybe you have an assignment that you need to finish, or maybe you want to go get your nails done today. It doesn't have to be something that is a requirement. Like, your mom might want you to get the dishes done when you get home from school. But you can think beyond that. It can be that you want you want to make sure that you get to listen to your favorite music later, or watch your favorite Netflix show. So it's just thinking about, what's one goal I have for myself today. And then in the other boxes, you're going to do the same thing. So something within this week that I want to do, or I want to accomplish. And then again, this month and this year. This year box is always a little harder for people to think about. It takes you a little bit of time to think through that. And if you want to get really creative with it, you can write down some steps to, how am I going to get this done? And that's what social work is really about. We really are guiding your story your journey. We're not there to tell you what to do or how to do it. It's about helping you figure out what you want, and then we guide and we support you in the decisions that you make, because ultimately it's your life. It's not my story, it's your story. So that's all I had.
I love that. It's, you know what, it's, life is really complex and there's a lot to navigate. And I say the options are changing all the time. Everything's spinning around, but sometimes just putting it in four squares could actually really just help you reset your brain a little bit and make it feel more manageable. So I can see where that's a really great exercise.
Yeah.
I was trying to encourage people to drop their today's goal in the chat, but I've not seen any. So
That's okay. People are still thinking.
my goal is for my sinuses to not hurt from like the weird weather we're having right now. I'm not sure how I make that goal happen. Maybe just go to sleep. I'm not sure exactly.
Yep. Maybe it'll make you kind of think about, okay, what do I have control over? What can I do?
Exactly. So that's a little glimpse, just that, about what you do in your job every day. So what does a normal day look like for you? If there is a typical day, which there probably isn't, what's it look like?
Yeah. In this field, there really isn't a typical day. You plan as best you can. You organize your day. You need time management skills. You make to-do lists, but things come up. We work with people, so there's going to be things that come up. If I'm a therapist, my day is typically going to look like I'm going to have several people that I'm going to be working with, counseling, and I'm going to be doing some paperwork, and I might be in a staff meeting, and I might be meeting with my supervisor, and it's a little more structured. If I'm if I'm a bachelor's degree, or if I have my high school diploma and I'm working, one-on-one with, say, youth, my day might be, I thought I was going to start out with, seeing Michael, and, Michael had a doctor's appointment. So now I got to shift my schedule around, and I'm going to go and see Beth instead. And so there's a tremendous amount of flexibility involved in the work that we do, especially at that bachelor's level. And your hours typically are going to ebb and flow. You may come into the office at 8 a.m. one day and leave at 4, and then you might have some later evening appointments the next day. So you're going to have to flex your schedule so that you come in at 12 and work at 8. Or you might have a really short day. You might only work a few hours another day. And some people really love that flexibility, and others struggle a little bit with it. But all in all, I would say you have to have quite a bit of flexibility to be able to do this work.
Yeah, I think in the world today, flexibility is important for every job. So it's like,
and there are lots of options to work from home, especially in the bachelor's level positions that we have, more so than our therapists.
Yeah, and I know through COVID, there's been a lot of shift to the kind of Zoom therapy sessions,
Yep.
which can be really helpful for people who are just unable to get somewhere.
Yes.
Transportation.
Yes, absolutely. We were doing a lot of that at one point, and we've shifted back to in person, which is really our preferred model. We want to see people. We really want to physically see them.
There are certain things you just can't read on a screen.
Right.
So we have like 1 minute left. So you can pick your question. If you'd like to make any recommendations for students, like classes to take, work experiences to pursue, and or what is the best thing about your job?
Oh boy. Well, I think, okay, I'll talk about that, the first question. If you really like interacting with other people, and you think, I want to be in some kind of role, or I am with people and I'm talking with people, I think the best thing you can do is, yes, definitely take courses or classes that are offered, in the realm of, psychology or sociology, depending on your school and your electives that you have there. doing that. But I think the best way to get some real life experience is to do volunteer work, work, at a nursing home, think about hospital volunteering, think about volunteering, like at the Boys and Girls Club, or, doing something over the summer, working at a summer camp, or even the Humane Society. I mean, that's a wonderful volunteer opportunity too. So I think, getting out there, getting your feet wet in those situations, I think that's gonna help you figure out, okay, is this really for me? Or is this job worthy for me? Or am I really geared for something else?
Yeah, that is really good advice. So we did have somebody who was willing to share their goal. So shout out to J.K. Smith on good luck with this interview today. So going to work and having an interview. So that's a lot happening today. So
great. Yep. Good luck.
Good luck to that. Now it's all organized in those 4 squares. So success is imminent. So I just want to thank Shelley, educators and students for joining us today. As a reminder, all these sessions are being recorded and will be available on the Health Careers Week landing page over the next year. So you can continue to visit that, see the pathways pages. There's a business directory where you can learn more about all different kinds of health careers in our community, in our region. So make sure to take a look at that. And you can also learn more about Oaklawn in that business directory. And there's lots of links, and the links that Allison dropped into the chat are also incredibly helpful. So, and be sure to explore those pathway pages for detailed information on the different kind of jobs. And as Shelley told you, there's lots of ways you can go and keep stacking that education. So please take a look. And we thank all of you again for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley.